Whoa, no way. Yo, it's long-haired Kevo again, back at it again. This time with a Beyblade mod. That's right, Beyblade mods are back. And before we get started, can we represent? Can we get 100 likes below? Let's make it happen, y'all. Mod Squad, where are you at? Part of the reason why I blew up back during the Burst era is because of my Beyblade mods. So let's bring it to X. And what I have here is Shinobi Shadow. I believe this is 160 metal needle. Forgive me if I have the parts wrong, but this is a Beyblade that's been heavily shown off in the anime as unstoppable or really powerful. It's owned by Queen Manju. It's got a really unique design. One of the drawbacks of this Beyblade, besides the bit, is that it tends to be very easy to burst. And that all just comes down to the bit and the lack of burst resistance. Now, Needle's really unique in that, again, it's just a bit that doesn't have a lot of resistance. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna mod this Beyblade to increase its burst resistance and even give it a burst stopper. Now, the concept of a burst stopper isn't anything new either. In fact, it was heavily used in Burst for a long time. So we're gonna figure out how to do that. And let's go ahead and get to a close-up. All right, we're back with the close-up, and here is Shinobi Shadow in all of its glory. It is a beautiful Beyblade, part of the UX system, and it's shown off in the anime as this very powerful Beyblade. Unfortunately, though, it is held back by its lack of burst resistance, and for the most part, it has to do with the bit, which in this case is metal needles. So we're gonna take it apart, and we're gonna keep these aside. Now, if you look at the bit itself, you can definitely make out the shape. And this piece here of the bit is what makes up most of the burst resistance when it comes to X. So it isn't a teeth system anymore like in Burst. And I also have my Drawn Buster here that we can use to compare with. Now, Drawn Buster being an attack type, it does have a attack bit, which is Excel. And given that it is an attack type, it's got a lot more burst resistance. Therefore, Excel, if you can make it out, there is a huge night and day difference between the two bits, especially in this kind of shaft area here. There's a huge chunk of plastic here, whereas with metal needle, there's basically nothing. So we're gonna fix that. And we're gonna do that through rubber O-rings. Now, I've used these in the past for other mods during the Burst era, but I figured I'd bring it to X, and I discovered a really neat way to add burst resistance to a bit like metal needle. These are just rubber rings that have a multitude of uses. In this case, I figured out a way to use it for Beyblade mods, and I've used them a lot in the past. If you want to purchase these for yourself, however, you can check out the Amazon link down below. It is an Amazon affiliate link, so you'll also be able to support me in doing what I'm doing. With that being said, I also have a shameless plug. I have an eBay store where I sell secondhand Metal Fight, Burst, and Beyblade X Beyblades. Go check it out, link will be down below. With all that out of the side, we're gonna look at the sizes that we have available. Now, I've tested just about all kinds of sizes for this mod, and I actually discovered this size to be the best. I don't know the exact size off the top of my head, but this is about the width of a bit. And as you guys can see, it's pretty tiny. In fact, my camera's having a hard time focusing on it. So let's try to get a closer look. And again, this is just a rubber ring. That's all it's for, or that's all it is. And we're gonna set these aside. Now, to install the mod, it's really simple. You're gonna take your bit. In this case, again, we're looking at metal needle. We're gonna attach the O-ring, and we're gonna set it just about where the other kind of piece of plastic is at. So as you can see, it's lined up pretty much perfectly here. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take the rest of our Beyblade, and we're gonna assemble it like normal. Now, here is the tricky part. We're gonna push the bit in. Now, you might need to adjust it just a little bit closer towards the center of the bit, and bam, it is installed. So, because the ratchet is clear, you can almost make out where the rubber O-ring is at. It's actually sitting wedged between the bit and the ratchet. And all this is doing is more or less mimicking what the attack bits already do by adding an extra layer of rubber. And because it's rubber, it's got a lot more friction, and therefore it's gonna take a lot of work to pull it apart. So if you wanna reverse this, it's very simple. Boom, you just pulled it apart. Now this won't damage anything, it's just rubber on plastic contact. You're not gonna wear anything out, and this can be done to any bit. So it's also kind of secretive, if you will. You can definitely use it on your opponents without them knowing, and we just did our mod. So it's very simple, and it's also not gonna add really any weight to the Beyblade as it is. So again, this is a mod that you're really gonna wanna use on those Beyblades that burst a lot, and the other Beyblade that could benefit from this would be Wyvern Gale, since the bit's also pretty weak. But now let's see how this is in action. All right, so I'm back with my stadium, and I want to just do a few battles without the mod installed. So I just want to do a quick comparison. Again, here is Shinobi Shadow stock, and we're going to battle it against a pretty heavy hitter. We're going to use Hell Scythe. I really like Hell Scythe. So here we go. And right off the bat, we got a burst. Instant burst. Another instant burst. As you guys can see, it does like to burst a lot. We're gonna install the mod again really quickly. So you can do this in between battles even. Boom. It is ready to go. And let's see if he can tank Hell Scythe now. Insane attacks from Hell Scythe. This thing is a beast, but you can clearly see Shinobi Shadow is standing its ground, and I feel that if it didn't have the mod installed, it probably would have bursted by now, but it is just tanking those hits. Fortunately, the stamina is just not all there, but it did not burst. Let's try another heavy hitter. We'll do Hell's Hammer. Well, I wouldn't call Hell's Hammer heavy. I believe it is pretty light, but it does pack a punch. And crazy just movement there. Both of them riding the rail. And again, I feel like the only setback for Shinobi Shadow is the bit. The stamina is just not 100% there. But we are literally seeing it not burst. And that's pretty much a miracle. And we got a knockout from Vice Tiger. Alright, we're getting a crazy build-up. Insane hit. It kind of knocked out Shinobi Shadow, but Shinobi Shadow is not letting up until it ran out of stamina. Alright, we got Vice Tiger again. Just insane build-ups. I really like X for this reason. Just crazy hits. And Shinobi Shadow is just tanking all of the attacks. I think it might actually win this. And yes, we got our first win. Let's try a good old classic. We got our drawn sword here. Mine's pretty minty, so it does still hit pretty hard. Drawn sword is just not doing anything to burst it whatsoever. Again, stamina is just not 100% there for Shinobi Shadow, so it did take a loss, but no burst. Now let's try Leon Claw. Insane attacks. How it did not burst is due to that mod. Check it out. No burst whatsoever. We're gonna keep trying with more attack types. We've got Cobalt Drake. And we got a knockout, but no burst. Now let's see a Hasbro exclusive. We got Tusk Mammoth. Insane attacks. Just some of the hardest impacts so far. Definitely pick it up if you haven't already. It is locked in a set, but it is readily available. And that looks like another loss for Shinobi Shadow. Now here we have Shark Edge. And that was a crazy parry. Shinobi Shadow actually won that. Really nice counter to Shark Edge. Now we have Hell's Chain. You know, not as aggressive as Hell Scythe, but still an aggressive Bey nonetheless. And we did get a burst somehow. Okay, so it's not foolproof. All right, we're gonna try Drawn Buster now. Insane attacks from Drawn Buster, but no dice. This might be the best matchup yet. Wow. Let's try a rematch. You know, X battles are short and sweet, so I want to make sure we have enough battles recorded. And Drawn Buster is just not letting up. Check that out. Even so, Shinobi Shadow took that. Let's get a little crazy with Tyranno Beat. Now, if this thing doesn't burst it, I don't know what will. Even though Hell's Chain already did burst it, I have yet to see anything come close. Got nothing for Tyranno Beat. Tyranno Beat's just one of those like Beyblades, it just puts in the work. But you know, it's still won by stamina, I'll give it that. Alright, now we have the Persona Hell Scythe. This thing is a Hell Scythe on an attack bit, so it's still gonna hit super hard, especially it being a new Hell Scythe. I barely use this. And we got a knockout. Did we get a burst though? Nothing. We got a knockout from the Shark Edge. And that was a burst. Alright, we got a rematch for the Shark Edge. I think this is called the Blue Metal Coat version. Instant attacks from Shark Edge, but I think it has worse stamina than Shinobi Shadow, and clearly it won. And we have Phoenix Wing. And Shinobi Shadow is taking so many hits. I don't know how it's still alive. Now, Phoenix Wing won, but you can see it takes so many hits. Now let's try another Beyblade that has no burst resistance, that being Wyvern Gale. Whoa! No way! Wyvern Gale is doing a special move right now. And it is back in the stadium. That was insane, guys. Let's bring out Drawn Dagger. Now that was a burst. All right, here we go. Drawn Dagger is putting in those attacks. It's known for its barrage-like attacks, hitting Shinobi Shadow over and over. That is going to take it down. Here's another one of my favorite X-Bays, Phoenix Feather, with the red 360F. And look at that parry, that was beautiful. Phoenix Feather is so fast. Sometimes I forget it is a pre-evolution to Phoenix Wing. And just like that, it went down. Let's try Leon Claw one more time. Crazy attacks from Leon Claw. Now, my bit on Leon Claw has worn down somewhat, so it's a lot more aggressive than it used to be. Just check out Drawn Dagger. and it is just relentless in its attacks. But I think Shinobi Shadow might have this in the bag, and it does. And we have Phoenix Swing again. Crazy build-up. Insane attacks. What is going to go on? And it looks like a stamina win for Phoenix Swing. Alright, let's bring it back to Cobalt Drake. One of the best stock days in X, and it just defeated Cobalt Drake. Nice. Alright, so that's it for this Beyblade mod, and honestly, this just takes me back to the days when I would do mods. It's reversible, and it's also kind of secret, so you can definitely use this on your opponent, and you can use this on any Beyblade X Beyblade, so let me know what you guys think. So that's going to be it for this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and until next time, guys, peace. Whew.